Hello there and a very good afternoon to you wherever you're joining us from. It's 4 p.m. on the dot and on the nose. My name is Melita Oletenges. Time for Citizen Briefs. We begin with the latest. Now, the situation in Tanzania remains tense as a few demonstrators took to the streets to protest against Tanzania President Samia Suluhu's administration, calling for a review of the just concluded general election. There has, however, been relative calm in the major cities of Dar es Salaam and Dodoma, as security forces patrol to keep off protesters from accessing the central business district. The Tanzanian military has been deployed in Dar es Salaam to keep out protesters. Authorities on Monday asked Tanzanians to remain indoors as they celebrate the Independence Day, marked on every 9th of December. The Suluhu administration had banned the protests.
Ningependa kuwajulisha kuwa hadi mchana huu wa tarehe 9 mwezi wa 12 2025 hali ya usalama wa nchi ni shwari. Vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama vinaendelea kuimarisha usalama nchini sambamba na kulinda maisha ya watu na mali zao. Aidha, jeshi la polisi lingependa kutoa wito kwa wananchi kuendelea kuzipuuza picha mjongeo na picha mnato zinazoendelea kusambazwa kwenye mitandao ya kijamii zikionyesha kwamba kuna maandamano yameanza maeneo mbalimbali. Taarifa hizo sio sahihi. Wanatumia picha mjongeo na picha mnato za matukio ya nyuma kama vile ya tarehe 29, tarehe 30 na tarehe 31 mwezi wa 10 2025.
Meanwhile, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, KNHCR, received reports of 57 deaths and 661 human rights violations this year. The numbers are in this year's annual State of Human Rights report. Kenya's human rights performance during the period under review witnessed grave violations that shocked the nation, with KNHCR noting the recent by-elections were not free and fair. It documented 3 deaths, 2 in Kasipul and 1 in Kabuchai, as the commission was locked out of 2 centers in Mbeere. Massive voter bribery and the use of hired goons were also witnessed in a number of areas.
The commission documented 57 violations on the right to life. These include the killing of a human rights defender, one Richard Otieno in Molo. There was a question on the number of deaths in the by-election, and we've documented 3. So 2 of them were from Kasipul, Kabondo, during the by-elections. And then there was one there was a 70-year-old in a stampede in Kabuchai. So those are the 3 deaths that we've been able to document. 2 in Kasipul and 1 in Kabuchai.
The commission monitored these by-elections and they were kept out of 2 tallying centers, Chicago Primary School in Mbeere North and Mumboni Northward. They were kept out of those tallying centers, and therefore we cannot make a decision on whether the elections were free and fair because we were denied entry.
Now, global civic freedoms continued to shrink in 2025, with nearly 3/4 of the world's population now living in countries where fundamental rights are severely restricted. A new report by the Civicus Monitor, dubbed People Power Under Attack 2024, documents more than 3,000 violations of civic freedoms between November 2024 and October 2025, ranging from the detention of protesters and journalists to the targeting of human rights defenders. Only 39 out of 198 countries are now classified as having open civic space, while 83 are rated as repressed or closed, the worst categories. The report notes a sharp escalation in the use of detentions as a tactic of repression, with protesters detained in at least 82 countries and journalists arrested in 73.
Exercising their civil liberties to protest. At least they gave notice of that. And when the state is busy repressing. In the neighboring Uganda, we know that civil liberties are being curtailed. Elections are next month, middle of next month, and police have been interfering violently with rallies of the leading presidential opposition candidate, Bobi Wine.
Express their sovereignty either through Article 37, the right to peacefully protest. We can also exercise that right through elections. And we have seen elections has become a cancerous issue in East Africa, from Tanzania, and now we're going to Uganda in January, and back to Kenya in 2027. And so on the issue of elections, we are actually coming up with proposed amendments to reform to restructure the IEBC so that it can be able to produce credible, free and fair elections.
To matters health now, Kenya Union of Clinical Officers has threatened to commence a strike on the 23rd of December after the lapse of their 21 days notice to the Ministry of Health. The union held peaceful demonstrations marching from Green Park Terminus to the Ministry of Health headquarters at Afya House, where they accused Cabinet Secretary for Health Aden Duale of failing to sign their return to work agreement, which would operationalize the absorption to permanent and pensionable terms. The union secretary General Peterson Wachira says the government has not implemented key commitments in the 2024 Return to Work Agreement, including promotions, redesignations, improved pay, and the absorption of clinical officers into permanent and pensionable terms.
Treasury imekubali, SRC wamekubali, lakini kigugumizi imebaki kuwa waziri. Siku ikitimia tarehe 23 mwezi wa 12 tutaanza mgomo kirasmi na tutafunga hospitali zote nchini.
We concluded the negotiation in September of 2025, 3 months ago. The documents are printed, ziko kwa meza ya CS for 3 months. For 3 months. Tunangoja document ambayo imemaliziwa. For 3 good months. Kwa hivyo sisi kama maafisa tabibu, tunasikia hii wizara inatudhararisha. Tunasikia discriminated, and that they do not recognize and appreciate the work that we do.
Now, the government, through its investment arm, the Kenya Development Corporation, says it has set aside 6 billion shillings to be invested in the pharmaceutical sector in the country. Speaking to pharmaceutical stakeholders, the Cabinet Secretary for Investment, Trade and Industry, Lee Kinyanjui, pointed at the 1 trillion trade deficit between Kenya and India, noting that over 70% of the deficit comes from Kenya's import of pharmaceutical products from India. At the same time, the government, through the Ministry of Health, has committed to increase its uptake of locally manufactured pharmaceutical products. According to Dr. Ouma Oluga, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Medical Services, the products need to be price competitive and have to meet all set standards. Pharmaceutical stakeholders have asked the government to incentivize production, noting that delayed payment by the government and double regulations disincentivize investment in the sector.
Was established to drive.
We are looking at supporting you in terms of project finance. And so we are looking at new pharmaceutical projects or those who are looking to expand. Or equally, there is also the opportunity of us actually doing some contract manufacturing. Those are conversations we need to begin having now.
We are committed from a Ministry of Health perspective to uptake the products. But we want to work with you to ensure that you're consistent, that the products are quality, and that we are price competitive, because that is the only way.
We have agreed as government the issue of payment to our suppliers, something we need to address, even if it means getting banks to come in between and pay on time as they wait for other things to happen, as we also streamline our healthcare system. But I'm saying, you see, there is no time when we will ever tick all the boxes, and probably no country has ever done that. So where can we start?
Crops of unknown value and property have been destroyed in Ratta village, Kisumu County, in a monkey invasion that has lasted for a month. The monkeys have also been attacking dogs deployed to ward them off the farms, leaving the residents in fear of more attacks. Laura Otieno reports on the plight of the hundreds of affected farmers.
Residents of Ratta in Seme, Kisumu County have resorted to taking up arms in order to deal with monkeys that have been increasingly laying waste to their crop. For about a month, maize stalks have been hanging precariously as the monkeys ravage through farms, destroying everything in their path.
Nimelima mahindi shamba mbili lakini nimelima nene raundi. Hakuna hata kidogo ambayo itaenda kwa nyumba. Yaani nitakula yote. Tayari wamekula kando ya shamba yo. Sasa ikifika Januari, hiyo shamba itakwisha namna hiyo bila mimi kuonja hata kidogo.
Juzi nilipiga miogo nikawachia watoto. Wakajiingia na njena mbewa. Wakakula hiyo miogo yote, watoto wakarudi shule bila na njaa.
Despite efforts to deploy dogs to scare the monkeys off the farms, the invaders have proved they can better the canine reinforcements.
Jina piga umbwa. Umbwa ikikuja kuwa tu moja. Kama umbwa naenda gu. Unaona hiyo ngeri hiyo dume inapiga umbwa, hiyo mangi anapiga umbwa mpaka umbwa analia na kimbia kabisa.
Sasa tunaomba serikali watuangalie na macho nyororo ili wakuje wachukue hii vitu yao wapeleke huko mbali. Hii chakula ya usaidizi sijui inaitwa namna gani, Kiswahili sio lugha yetu sisi. Tunataka hiyo watuletee yawa.
Affected farmers say they have not been granted audience by the local leaders and their efforts to reach the Kenya Wildlife Service have also been futile. They are now clinging on to hope that the menace will be resolved in order to save their livelihoods as well as their food basket. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
Monkey business. Moving on, more than 1,600 families in the Roret area, Bureti, Kericho County, have received iron sheets, blankets, mattresses and other basic items from the government ahead of the festive season. This is after heavy rain and hailstorms damaged crops and the roofs of their homes 2 months ago.
Months after counting massive losses caused by hailstorms that battered the area, destroying homesteads, acres of tea, coffee and other crops, leaving behind a trail of destruction worth millions and reducing residents' lifelong investments to ruins. 400 among the affected families have received 10 iron sheets each to help repair their damaged roofs. The remaining families received blankets, mattresses and other essential items to help them start anew. Joseph Soe and Kenneth Korir are among families affected by heavy rain that battered Roret area.
The rain that rained here was a lot of rain with hailstones destroying properties, destroying homes, destroying livestock, destroying livelihoods of people. And today we have come here with the Ministry of Special Programs that have assisted us together with the Ministry of Interior and National Coordination to give support to the people.
Tangu wakati hiyo hatujapata mimea yote kutoka kwa mashamba. Wala manyumba naye bado inanyesha tu. Lakini leo Mungu ametujalia tumekumbukwa na serikali kupitia mbunge wetu.
400 among the affected families have received 10 iron sheets each to help repair their damaged roofs. The remaining families received blankets, mattresses and other essential items to help them start anew. Joseph Soe and Kenneth Korir are among families affected by heavy rain that battered Roret area. Speaking while handing over the aid to residents who were affected, Area MP Kibet Komingoi said the aid provided would give residents a boost towards restoring normalcy.
Leo mimi nashukuru tumeletewa mabati na serikali wametusaidia na watatulisha hata ya Christmas kidogo.
The residents appealed to the government to pay more attention, especially to families in need, as the festive season approaches.
Naivas supermarket has today officially opened its newest outlet, Naivas store number 112, located in Mihango Utawala. This comes as it kicks off the festive season with its annual Naivas Kikwetu promotion, offering daily mbuzi giveaways from December 1st to 12th, with customers encouraged to use their Naivas loyalty card to increase their chances. This milestone is meant to communicate the supermarket's continued commitment to bringing quality, affordability and exceptional customer experiences closer to communities across Kenya.
Today we're very excited to be opening store number 112 in Mihango. And of course, those customers during the Christmas season, our Kikwetu season, have the opportunity, in addition to the great value that we offer, to win a range of prizes ranging from cars to TVs, motorbikes, and much, much more.
All right, that's the latest from our newsroom at this hour. Many thanks for staying with us. My name is Melita Oletenges. More news updates coming your way at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Good afternoon.